Erick Stakelbeck, and it's a question we hear every time a presidential election cycle rolls around. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And is America better off? Well, let's talk about it. When President Trump was in office, the world was largely stable with no major wars. Today, the world is on fire, from wars in Europe and the Middle East to rumors of war in Asia and elsewhere. The chaos began with the Biden administration's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan in August 2021, and it's only gotten worse since then. A gathering storm of nations led by Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea is on the march. They sense American weakness, and they're taking advantage. Under President Trump, these adversaries were largely held in check, and ISIS was crushed. We even had historic peace treaties between Israel and its Arab neighbors thanks to the Abraham Accords. Closer to home, what about our southern border? We went from building a security barrier under President Trump to having some 10 million illegal migrants stream across the U.S.-Mexico border since January 2021 when Joe Biden took office. We don't know who many of these people are or where they are, and yet our government keeps the floodgates open. Does that make you and your family feel more secure than you did 4 years ago? What about the rise in brazen crime and lawlessness in our cities that's even crept into suburban and rural areas? Hey, security is one thing, but what about your bank account? The last 4 years have brought record inflation. From housing to food to gas to basic needs, everything costs more. Families are struggling to make ends meet, and if they want to buy a home, well, interest rates are through the roof compared to 4 years ago. If you're a Christian, do you feel good about the current administration pushing the trans agenda on our kids in our schools? Or how did it feel when President Biden declared Easter Sunday this year as Transgender Day of Visibility? Hey, it seems that Americans who hold a traditional biblical worldview have been marginalized and worse at every turn. Folks, we hear it every 4 years, but the 2024 presidential election truly is the most important in our lifetimes. Now, you may not agree with what I just laid out, although facts are a stubborn thing. But I believe it is your patriotic duty as an American to get out and vote however you see fit now more than ever. As for me, I'll vote from a biblical perspective and one that seeks peace through strength. Over the weekend, I sat down with the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, right before his speech at the annual NRA convention in Dallas. Despite being hauled before a kangaroo court in New York, he took time to share his vision of what a second Trump term would look like and how he would make America the leader of the free world once again.
Mr. President, thanks so much for joining us. Hey, the world has become a much more dangerous place since you left office. We've got a war in the Middle East, a war in Europe. We've got China on the march threatening Taiwan. How did you keep the world? Why was the world such a stable place under your presidency? And how do you make America the leader of the free world once again?
So if you look at what's happened over the last little while with Russia going into Ukraine and with China flying their planes all over Taiwan, and lots of bad things going to happen. And, you know, frankly, one of the worst things I've ever seen are millions and millions of people pouring into our country totally unchecked, and they're from prisons and jails, they're from mental institutions, they're terrorists. We have things going on that nobody's ever seen before. Russia would have never done what they did. Israel would have never been attacked. We wouldn't have had inflation. All of these things would have been, we would have had a peaceful world. Viktor Orban, who's the head of Hungary, made a statement. He said, we have to bring Trump back, and all of it's going to go back again. It's going to be like it was. We had a great 4 years. We had the greatest economy ever, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again and stronger. You know, the border, because you're so affected in certain areas. We're in Dallas now, and all of Texas and all of our country has been so affected by what's happened at the border. We had the strongest border in the history of our country, and now we have the worst border probably in the history of the world. So we're going to bring it back, and I think that's why we're leading in every poll, because people want to see it the way it was.
Yeah. We talk about threats abroad. You mentioned the invasion at our southern border. We've got pro-Hamas mobs on college campuses, a rise in crime and lawlessness here as well in cities and suburbs. Mr. President, how do you reinstill a sense of security and stability in the American people?
Well, it starts with taking back the White House, and it starts with the leader. I mean, the president is so impactful toward the success of our country. I didn't even realize it as much until I became president. The power of the presidency, not only in terms of power, raw power, in terms of influencing the people and influencing happiness and health and all of the things that we want in our country. We don't have that anymore. We've lost the American dream. Nobody thinks in terms of the American dream. Nobody even talks about the American dream anymore. We have right now the worst president in the history of our country. There's never been a president as bad as Joe Biden. He shouldn't be there. There's never been anything like what this country is suffering right now. If you think about Afghanistan and the disaster that took place, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. But look at the border, look at the economy, look at inflation. Inflation would have never happened under me. We had no inflation. We had low energy. Energy caused inflation. He's the worst president we've ever had. We have to get him out.
Yeah. You came down that escalator 9 years ago. You declared your candidacy. Ever since, it's been a relentless assault on you. You've been through so many trials and tribulations. Why do you continue to push forward? Many people in your position would have walked away, rode off into the sunset and say, hey, I'm done. You continue to forge ahead. What drives you? And through all these trials and tribulations, has this built your faith? Has this drawn you closer to God through all this chaos?
The answer is it has. It's been very unfair. The good news is it's driven my poll numbers through the roof because the American public sees it. Yeah. You know, if I were a congressman or a senator that people didn't know but did a great job and I got subpoenaed and all of the things they do, they've weaponized justice and FBI and everything else, they'd be out of office. They'd have to. They wouldn't be able to explain it. I have a platform where I'm able to explain it, and the American people get it. This has been election interference. This has been weaponization of the Justice Department. Even the local DAs and all of the prosecutors you see on a local basis, the attorney generals, it's all weaponized by the Justice Department and by the White House. This is their form of cheating, and the people aren't having it. I think it's backfired. I mean, we'll know pretty soon, but I think it's backfired because we have the highest poll numbers we've ever had, and people don't want to see it. They want to see our country the way it was. They want to see a great country. Right now, we're laughed at all over the world. They want to see a great country, and they're going to see it again. As far as why do I do it? Very simple. I want to make America great again. We had it. We were respected all over the world. We had the greatest economy ever. We had strong borders. We had low taxes. We had everything. And now it's all falling apart. Again, the worst president ever. Doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Can't walk off a stage. Can't speak. Can't put two sentences together. And, you know, it's very dangerous. Even the 5 months, we only have 5 months to go. And it's actually even less than that because the real, the voting starts, believe it or not, months before, September 22nd and the middle of September, various states, including Pennsylvania is going to be very soon. So we have to get out or we vote, but we have to get rid of this president. This president is a curse on our country.
Mr. President, thank you so much. You've got a speech here, big speech at the NRA convention in Dallas. We appreciate taking the time.
Thank you very
Mr.
much. Great
God
honor.
bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, great interview there with the 45th and perhaps soon to be the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And again, the question, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? If you're an American like me, is this country better off? Is your family better off than you were under President Trump? That's a big question a lot of people are asking right now. So we encourage Christians to head to the polls this November right here in the United States. Hey, we've got a global audience, though, here for the YouTube channel. And quick reminder that we now offer premium memberships here on the channel for our frequent watchmen and women on the wall who are with us every single day. We want to offer you something a little bit more. And what we're doing with premium membership is two things. Number one, we've got the Stackscast, our weekly podcast. You can get the full video version of the Stackscast as a premium member. And then there is our new monthly premium live stream. Now, I do live streams often here on the channel, and you can be just a regular subscriber and see them. That's great. But the premium live stream features a little more intimate conversations with me and the viewers, Q&A, some really good stuff. We're doing our very first premium live stream tomorrow, Thursday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So all you premium members, check it out. Join me live tomorrow for that exclusive premium live stream. Again, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to become a premium member, just click join right there on the page. Some good stuff coming up here on the channel. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching. God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.